over.
Me too. Imagine, the bellhop, a crook.
I don't believe it. I've worked with him for 3 years, and Basil would never do such a thing.
I agree with you, Miss Wise.
Thank you, Officer Black.
Basil isn't guilty. As usual, Detective Dalton has the facts all messed up. Well, it was a tough case to solve, but we finally cracked it.
We were able to narrow down our list of suspects once we had searched the Bright House. We realized that, while they had stolen just about everything else in the hotel, they hadn't stolen Mrs. Fairfax's necklace.
We retrieved our missing evidence and recommend that Albert and Ingrid get some treatment for the compulsive behavior.
Then, we examined the testimonials we had taken for any possible motive. Initially, we looked at financial need as a motive.
This motive pointed to Henry Clifford! That's preposterous! Because of his struggling hotel business, and Stanley Larson.
That's absurd!
For his debt problem. Finances might have also provided a motive for any of the hotel staff who have been poorly paid for several years.
But then we examined other possible motives for this crime. Motives such as jealousy and resentment, for example. We also examined a coincidence that was just too unusual to ignore.
The coincidence that Audrey Rochester and Edward Fairfax, formerly engaged, both from the United States, would end up in the same row hotel in England.
One piece of evidence. A lady's diamond engagement ring led us to our conclusion.
Audrey Rochester, you are a thief!
What? You haven't proven anything.
Confess, Audrey. Haven't you felt a resentment towards Blanche ever since Edward broke off that engagement all those years ago? Don't you feel that all the fame, all the diamonds, all the riches should belong to you and not to her? And so your bitterness grew and grew until finally you decided to exact your little revenge upon the Fairfaxes.
Audrey, is this true? You still keep the ring I gave you? And now you've gone off and stolen my wife's necklace?
Yes, Eddie, it's true. I'm the one who deserves the life Blanche lives. The wealth, the fame, the travel, she took all of that away from me.
I can't believe it.
Well, I can. Adore, take it down to the police station.
Why, yes, Chief, I love a cookie.
What?
I was just saying how much I love a cookie.
Well, I heard you, but I asked you to take it down to the station.
But can we get a cookie there?
No!
Can we get a cookie on the way?
No!
Do I get a cookie at all?
Possibly. Just take it down.
If I take her down and she doesn't escape like the last victims or whatever, do I get a cookie then?
Yes.
Okay, and she doesn't get a cookie though because she's been bad.
Right, because she's our prisoner. Now, just will you please take her down to the blooming station?
Do I get milk?
Fine!
She gets no milk. No, can she have milk?
Will you just go?
You get no milk.
Officer Black, please, go search her room for the necklace.
I'm supposing old Doyle isn't the brightest bulb in the pack.
No, he isn't, but the rest of the force is rather good. But, you know, our brilliance hasn't been able to solve one problem. That handkerchief with the initials S.A. on it. Who does it belong to?
I can answer that.
Ah, the mysterious Mr. X. So you finally come out of hiding now, have you?
He must be a saint, Chief.
No, but I'm not S.A., but I'll tell you who is. Stanley Larson!
Stanley?
Or should I state Stanley L. Arson, England's notorious arsonist.
That's absurd.
Excuse me, but I think you'd better explain who you are before you start handing out accusations.
I'm Secret Agent X. I've been following the activities of Mr. Arson for several months now, and I finally have enough evidence to put him away for a very, very long time.
You have a handkerchief with some initials on it. Mr. X, you can't possibly incriminate someone with that. Besides, have there been any fires since I've been here, Mr. Clifford?
Well, there have been a few in the kitchen, but that's only since Basil has started cooking.
Mr. Clifford, if all had gone according to plan, there would have been more kitchen fires, wouldn't there?
According I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Mr. X, stop stalling and explain your story.
Chief Whitfield, let's re-examine Mr. Clifford and Stanley Arson's possible motives for stealing a diamond necklace.
This again?
Oh,
Yes, this again, Mr. Clifford. Well, according to our investigations, Mr. Clifford's hotel business was going through financial ruin. And Mr. Larson was heavily in debt, and according to Mr. Clifford, he couldn't even afford to pay his hotel bill.
didn't it strike you a bit odd that Mr. Clifford simply allowed Mr. Arson to stay?
Well, he's a drunk.
Without requiring a cent from him, especially since he needed the money?
Well, yes, that did cross my mind.
Mr. Clifford's hotel business was going poorly, so he decided to write to wealthy and famous people, hoping it would bring him more business. When that plan failed, he hired Mr. Arson to set up a fire in his kitchen so he could collect the insurance money and relieve him from his financial troubles.
How would I waste my time doing that?
Why would I waste my valuable money hiring him?
This makes no sense. You can't incriminate me for this.
Yes, I can.
You have no evidence! Ask the maids. Am I guilty? Do you think I'm guilty?
No.
There you
Not at
go.
all.
Do you think I'm guilty?
Yes. Yes.
The advertising did work. I mean, me and Blanche are here.
Yes, but Mr. Clifford hadn't counted on that. You ruined his second plan.
I didn't have any plans.
He already hired Mr. Arson, and he couldn't possibly set a fire when you were here. Now could he?
I'm glad he didn't.
Well, looks like we're going to have a full house down at the station. Right. Doris, arrest Mr.
You
Clifford!
only heard a story. That's a crackpot.
You can't take me
Mr.
in.
X, please.
I will not let you take me in.
Are you talking to me?
Stanley! You can't, no!
Basil, if you don't tell me where that necklace is, I swear I'll wring your neck.
I tell you, detective, I know that necklace.
Here it is. Thank you. I was beginning to think I'd never see it again with all these crooks around. I knew we'd find it. Where'd you find it, officer? In Miss Rochester's suitcase. She was all packed, ready to leave. Miss Rochester's suitcase? What was it doing there?